conquistadors colonized the New World, they brought their culture and religion with them. Over the centuries, the indigenous populations have reinterpreted and reinvented those traditions to make them their own. Almost 3,000 kilometers separate Sincelejo in Colombia and Jesus Maria in Mexico. Yet in both places, the major festivals are celebrated with the same passion as they are in Spain. Sincelejo in northern Colombia is a thriving commercial center and the sugar-growing capital of the region. But it's more widely known for the Corralejo that takes place in late January. This is the festival the Colombians hold dearest to their hearts. The festival celebrates the superiority of men over bulls, specially bred for the event. 200 of the most ill-natured and meanest beasts have been selected. A wealthy landowner from the area, is one of the organizers. A candlelight procession is held on the eve of the festival. It's a reminder to all that the bullfight was originally a religious ceremony, thanking God for his benevolence and mercy. January 19th, 1977. Tens of thousands of Colombians attend the most spectacular bullfight of them all. For the next 5 days, men and bulls will fight in this arena. These are the men destined to challenge the bulls. They work in the cotton fields. Northern Colombia is principally a vast grassland plain, baked by a blazing sun. A few wealthy landowners control the entire region. For each person that owns land, there are thousands who do not. They're forced to leave their families and their villages during the dry season, from November to February, to work in these fields. They're paid ridiculously low wages, the equivalent of a few pennies a day. The work is so hard you want to cry. The cotton bale is so heavy you want to die. They chant, all the while dreaming about the moment they will face the bull. They will be putting their lives at risk for a very modest reward, to them, a virtual fortune. For, as the song continues, hunger butts harder than any bull. For these men, fighting the bull is their only hope of escape. Their villages, like Piedras Blancas, are all alike. There's no water, no arable land. The inhabitants eke out a few pesos by weaving strips to make sombreros. Feeding their children is a constant struggle. The bulls are led into the arena the night before the grand event and secured in a toril, or pen. Don Arturo signals the release of the first bull, a roar of excitement erupts from the stands. Still lacking in finesse. These young toreros are emboldened by the shouts of the crowd and compete to see who's the most daring. Rather a clever trick that takes advantage of a blind spot in the bull's field of vision. Piercing the bull's head with a banderilla while running towards it, that takes courage. Torero combines flamboyance with skill. To dominate his adversary, the crowd goes wild. The spectators shower the arena with money to reward him for his feat. The most dangerous feat, the one that merits the highest remuneration, is to jump over the bull. Only a few successfully accomplish it. For many bullfighters, the violent kick of a hoof or the sudden turn of a sharp corner will end their career. Raudo has been injured. He's from the village of Piedras Blancas. His mother is distraught. She raised 6 sons by herself. 5 years ago, the Coraleja took her eldest son from her. As soon as Raudo is able to walk, his mother helps him home to Piedras Blancas. They are too poor to take him to a hospital. Raudo has been fighting bulls since he was 10 years old, anywhere he could gain experience. He also dreams of becoming a boxing champion or a football star, anything that will make him rich. And this year, as every year, hundreds have come to try their luck in the Coraleja. But not a single one of them ever kills bulls. Though humans may die, killing bulls is not a tradition. country torn by civil strife, this extraordinary festival tries to project an image of social harmony. This is when he is most dangerous. In dealing with the situation, becoming a more formidable adversary. Receive honors as the best toreros or best apprentice torero of the year. The Corraleja is over. Yesterday's heroes have returned to the solitude of the cotton fields and their everyday lives. Deep in the Sierra Madre Mountains in Mexico, in the village of Jesus Maria, the Cora Indians are preparing to celebrate their highest holiday, Holy Week. The Cora may have appeared to embrace the Christian faith, but they haven't completely forsaken their ancestral gods. The Passion of Christ is an occasion to celebrate the resurrection of the sun and the morning star's triumph over the evil forces of the night. This confrontation between the forces of good and evil commences at midnight on Holy Tuesday. The Cora use pantomime to act out ancient rituals, such as this turtle dance. Each of the protagonists simulates copulation while wearing a turtle shell fastened at his waist. In the Cora culture, the turtle is a symbol of fertility. Holy Week likely coincides with the ancient initiatory rites of puberty and the celebration of a harvest cycle. Thursday morning, the men begin painting their bodies with mud, ashes, and pigments. These men will represent the persecutors of Christ, the demons and nocturnal evil spirits. This role is usually given to the young people of the village. They must promise to obey certain rules for Holy Week. They must abstain from eating, washing themselves or their clothes. They must reverse the meanings of words and speak in riddles. And they must break all the taboos of the village. As true demons, their allegiance to their master, the Lord of Darkness, must be absolute. Friday. The painted men, armed with swords, march rapidly in unison. They're about to enact the arrest, judgment, and crucifixion of Christ. But with an added cosmic illusion. The setting sun disappears, apparently dead, soon to be reborn as an invincible celestial warrior. According to tradition, a long time ago, the demons were expelled from the village. But today, they triumphantly return, intent on re-establishing their domination. Jesus and his apostles arrive for the Last Supper. But first, they must walk between two rows of painted men, lying prostrate on the ground, moaning and blaspheming. This child has been chosen to play the role of Jesus. He's barely 10 years old. Of a Christian celebration, the Kora are honoring their ancient Indian gods. In reality, the one fleeing the persecution of the painted men is not Jesus. It's the sun, pursued by the evil spirits of the night. The Kora have a remarkable talent for theatrics. Every element of the celebrations is planned to the minutest detail. The Christ Son flees through Jesus Maria, seeking a safe haven. He takes refuge in this house. Unfortunately, no one can hide for long from the army of evil spirits. Soon their swords with their impaled animals will be breaking through the back door of his hiding place. The finale is at hand. The Christ Son has nowhere to run. He's pinned against a tree. His hands are bound with black rope, symbolic of evil. The Christ Son is mocked and insulted by the crowd, while the Lord of Darkness and his demons savor their triumph. For a long while, the Cora refused to adopt Spanish customs. They rebuffed the missionaries. Although they later accepted the basic Catholic teachings, at times they corrupt them to the point where they're hardly recognizable as Christian rituals. It is thought that this celebration also mirrors the tragic fate of King Nayar, who unified the Cora nation. He was a priest of the sun god and warrior chief, dominating a vast territory until the conquistadors arrived. Regardless of one's spiritual beliefs, the Holy Week of the Cora is a superb example of the marriage of Indian and Spanish traditions. If the resurrection is truly approaching, either Christ will be risen, or the Son will be reborn as the invincible warrior.